Well, I wasn't expecting that yesterday. Walsall going to the halfway stage of the playoff semi-final against Chesterfield 2-0 up, and for away performances in the first leg of a playoff semi-final. You couldn't ask any more from Walsall yesterday. Clean sheet, a couple of goals to go into the second leg, and obviously we take that advantage going into the best Scott on Friday night. So in today's video, I'm going to speak through our performance on the whole, where it went, really good for Walsall yesterday, what we got right, and how we, go into the second leg now with a 2-0 advantage. As I'm going to speak about the game on the whole, I think that any neutral fans watching this video, I think for a neutral that would be a boring watch. There wasn't many chances in the game, but from Walsall's point of view, we kind of executed a real good performance yesterday. I thought first half, we were ruthless, clinical in the way we played. And, Chesterfield, they had a 10-minute spell in that first half where I think they had a shot save from Tommy Simkin. They had that deflected shot just go wide of the post. That was a close one. And, if that one goes in, it could be a different kind of game. But luckily for Walsall, that goes wide of the post. And after that, really, we got that penalty. Taylor Allen, reliable from the penalty spot again, scores. And then, we looked in control of that game ever since that, really. And I thought it was a real kind of controlling performance of Walsall. Alfie Chang, that was a really good goal for the second one as well. Some good work down the left-hand side from Liam Gordon, Taylor Allen. I think Gordon puts in the cross, gets cleared, and then Alfie Chang, what a strike. And his first professional goal, by the way. A real important kind of goal and tie that could be. And, we'll go through speaking about the players individually later in the video, but there's a brilliant strike from him and a brilliant performance. Then second half, it was exactly what we needed. We frustrated Chesterfield. Other than a couple of chances at the start of the second half, Chesterfield didn't create anything, and that was down to Walsall's kind of shape and organisation was spot on yesterday. And, like I said, we did everything that we needed to do in that second half. To a man, I thought we were brilliant in both halves, really. Chesterfield kept a lot of the ball, didn't they? In both halves, really, but they didn't do anything with it. When I was down to Walsall's shape, there was no penetration from Chesterfield in their play. They're passing it around the back four, but they weren't getting into their midfield players, the likes of John Fleck. He was actually dropping into a kind of a left-back position at times to receive the ball. He couldn't get anywhere in that midfield with that kind of box midfield that we have at the moment. We'll speak about that in a little while. So, yeah, we got the shape spot on. We stopped them playing. We stopped them getting any real clear-cut chances off at Walsall yesterday. If we talk about the shape yesterday, I think that was really key in terms of why we've got that, result going into the second leg. More importantly, I think the shape was spot on. And you've seen it over the last couple of games, especially at Crewe, where Matt Sadler's brought in this kind of tweak in the formation. We play a 3-4-2-1 now. So you've obviously got the back three, obviously Tommy Simkin in goal, back three of David Kagbu, Harry Williams, Taylor Allen. Then you've got two wing backs, Nathan Asimwe and Liam Gordon. Two kind of holding midfielders of Ryan Sturck, Alfie Chang. And then two attacking midfielders behind, one up front, Jamie Jellis, George Hall, and obviously Jamil Matt leading the line. And I think it works, to be honest with you, at the moment. I think we look a lot better defensively. I think until we change the formation, we look really fragile defensively. That midfield four gives us more of a kind of combative kind of approach to the game. And them two kind of attacking midfielders, George Hall and Jamie Jellis, they're really important to the system at the moment in that kind of formation that they've been playing over the last couple of games, where we kept 2 clean sheets against Crewe and Chesterfield. And like I said, it's more of a balance to the side. And one thing that annoys me a little bit, obviously credit to kind of changing it, but why wasn't this change brought in 2 or 3 months ago? Fans have been screaming it for a while, and if Matt Sadler would have just been brave enough to do that, a couple of months ago, even a couple of weeks ago, we would have looked much better in games. Obviously, I've said it before, if you change the formation, you change the way you play, other teams have got to think about it more. So, would like to see it a little bit earlier, but that's in the past now. We can't really dwell on that. He's brought it in now, and it's worked, especially in that game yesterday. Organisation was a key one for me yesterday. There were a few shaky moments first half, but when we kind of got rid of that from the game, I thought everyone knew what they were doing in terms of his roles and responsibilities. They knew when to press, They knew when to kind of put the foot in, get it cleared and away from danger. And we'll talk through individual players in a minute, but I thought organisation, shape was really important yesterday. You know, Chesterfield have got some, kind of threatening attacking players. Obviously, they brought Dober off the bench as well. And the two wingers in that 10-minute spell were causing a few problems. And we did isolate them. They didn't have anything, did they, in terms of going forward? And that was down to our organisation and shape. So if we go through every player then that played yesterday, we go through the starting 11. Tommy Simkin in goal. He's definitely up there for man of the match. Made a few real kind of good saves. And, ever since he's come back into the side after being on the bench for a couple of games, he has been a real good player for us in over the last few games. You look through some of the games that he's come back into, he's made some real kind of big saves. Newport away, made a few good saves there. Even in that Barrow game, it could have been more without him in goal. So he has really stepped up. He had a good game yesterday. Back three, like I said just a while ago, we had a few shaky moments in the first half, but after that the back three I thought were brilliant. Harry Williams, Taylor Allen, David Cagbo. My man of the match, I'd probably give it Taylor Allen, but there was definitely a few contenders for it. I thought Taylor Allen was brilliant. Obviously got the goal from the penalty spot, but as an all-round player, he's just a brilliant player to watch. Harry Williams, well, Greg, I think he had the least amount of touches of any player on the pitch, and that was down to him. Won most of his duels against him. And then Dave, I thought, had a solid game. When he grew into the game, especially. Two wing-backs, Liam Gordon and Nathan Asimwe. Start off with Liam Gordon. Played a big part in the two goals. Obviously won the penalty. And then obviously put a decent move together for the second goal. And on the whole, he had a solid game. Nathan Asimwe, I thought, was brilliant. Definitely up there for man of the match. I think ever since he's come in, he's been a real good player for us. And again, another thing, if Matt Sadler would have just brought him in a few weeks before he did in the season to freshen up a little bit, we probably wouldn't be in the playoffs now. I know it's not down to one player. Like, the whole theme is, if Matt Sadler would have just freshened it up in terms of tactics and, kind of personnel, we probably wouldn't be in the playoffs. But that's where we are now. We can't, do too many ifs and buts. But on Nathan Asimwe's performance, really good. I think he's a good all-round player as well. I think going forward, he's dangerous. But I think defensively, he is a liability as well. He had a good game. Two older midfielders, Ryan Sturck, Alfie Chang, forming a real good partnership. Ryan Sturck, his usual consistent performance yesterday. Alfie Chang, class player. I think he's kind of his composure that he brings to the side, real good. And obviously got his first professional goal, and what a goal for it. George Hall, I thought his work rate yesterday was exceptional and definitely up there for man of the match for me. His runs, just off the ball, kind of to stretch the play. Obviously, Jamil Matt, we're going to speak on him in a minute, but he's in a mobile strike. So Jamie Jellis and George Hall have to do the running side of it and stretch the play, and they definitely did that, both of them, especially George Hall. I thought his pressing was good. Jamie Jellis had a solid game. Like I said, his work rate in terms of the pressing, kind of form a front three at times when we go for it in terms of the pressing. I thought them two attacking midfielders had a good game. Then Jamil Matt, you can see he was out on his feet, when he got took off in the end. And I'd just like to see him hold up the ball a little bit more. When you're leading the line like that, one up front, your job is to, get into your man, hold the ball, lay it off to either, the number 10s or, the holding midfielders and bring them into play. Did it on probably one or two occasions, but didn't do it enough for me. Full subs were probably used at the right time yesterday as well to kind of kill off the game. You can see Chesterfield were getting frustrated. So, yeah, no complaints from me. No complaints from me whatsoever from yesterday. I think it was as good as it could have been yesterday. 2 goals and a clean sheet going back into the second leg at the best on Friday night. Hope it to sell out, get as many people down there as you can, because it could be a real big night for the Saddlers, 90 minutes away from Wembley. But the toy is not over. There's plenty of football to be played, and that next goal in the game on Friday in the second leg is going to be massive. If Walsall can get that goal, I think, that kind of kills off the toy. Chesterfield get an early goal, kind of the atmosphere around the ground and the performance could get a little bit nervy. So it's really important that second leg, the halfway stage of the tie. Nothing's been settled yet. We need that same performance level in terms of effort in terms of our play on Friday night. And I think it'll be interesting to see how we kind of approach the game on Friday. Obviously we'll play the same formation, but how we approach the game in the early stages of the game could be really key. I think we'll kind of go into the game, try and control it. We don't need to go all guns blazing in the game and, leave ourselves vulnerable at the back. I think we'll keep it kind of controlled and tight. Try and, frustrate Chesterfield. I think if Chesterfield if they get a goal in the first 15 minutes, like I mentioned before, we can get a bit nervous. So if we can kind of contain them and control them the first 15 minutes and they don't score a goal, naturally they're going to be frustrated because they're going to have to score 2 goals. I think if we can get a goal in the first half, that could be massive in terms of the tie. But like I said, 90 minutes or plus more, obviously, depending on the tie goes, we have to have that same performance levels. We have to have the same kind of effort and togetherness about us. And, the atmosphere yesterday on that away end was brilliant. Same again on Friday night, and hopefully we can get the job done. Let me know your thoughts on yesterday's game and your thoughts going into the second leg on Friday night against Chesterfield, and up the Saddlers.